Whispers from the Grave, The Balkan Beast Stirs in 2025 is a chilling documentary that explores the resurgence of ancient darkness in modern times. Beneath the jagged peaks of Montenegro's Black Mountains, a sinister force appears to be awakening from centuries of silence. Experts suggest that the ghosts of the 1990s Balkan Wars, warlords forged in blood and fire, are now linked to a rising tide of cocaine trafficking that threatens to choke Europe. In 2025, ports across the continent are burdened with record-breaking drug hauls, raising questions about the true masterminds behind this relentless flow. A growing sense of dread permeates law enforcement circles as whispers of betrayal and deception circulate in the shadows of Balkan organized crime networks. Historical context is crucial. The destabilized, war-torn cities like Sarajevo and Kosovo have long been fertile ground for violence and illicit trade. Former combatants, scarred by sniper fire and mortar explosions, have transformed into hardened enforcers and traffickers, their loyalty sealed through brutal rituals. By the mid-2020s, these groups have evolved into sophisticated networks: Albanian Shkambim, Serbian Zemun, Montenegrin Kavak, each deeply entrenched and fiercely loyal. As South American cocaine production surpasses 2,000 tons annually, these Balkan clans are increasingly targeting European markets with ravenous ambition. Incidents such as distant gunfire and internal purges hint at internal conflicts and shifting alliances within these criminal syndicates. In Calabria, Italy, clandestine alliances are forming, where Balkan bosses and Ndrangheta dons exchange threats and deals in candlelit villas, sealing their infernal pacts. Blood is thicker than borders, a phrase that underscores the brutal transnational nature of these collaborations. These alliances are solidified through a web of violence involving brokers in Naples and killers in Bogota. Illustrating the global reach of Balkan crime networks, recent events reveal violent eruptions at ports such as Hamburg and Rotterdam, where shipments are seized and confrontations turn deadly. Security agencies are increasingly aware that these disruptions are merely a temporary setback as the cartels reroute their operations with deadly precision. The infamous White Death Express, a nickname for the Balkan cocaine route, snakes across the Atlantic, fueling addiction and chaos everywhere it passes. Ships laden with heroin and cocaine travel through lawless West African shores, disguised in fishing vessels and disappearing into the night. Interpol and international authorities are monitoring these shadowy movements, but the networks are more elusive than ever. To date, authorities have intercepted significant quantities of drugs, such as the 43-ton seizure in Hamburg and the rapid raids in Rotterdam. Yet the scope of the problem expands exponentially. Experts warn that these seizures are only the tip of the iceberg as the cartels continually adapt and reroute their shipments without leaving a trace. A deeper understanding emerges. The Balkan criminal enterprises are not merely drug traffickers, but are intertwined with political, economic, and even military interests. The awakening of the Balkan beast signals a dangerous new chapter where old conflicts and modern greed feed a cycle of violence and chaos. In villages, forests, and urban centers, clandestine meetings and alliances forge new pathways for illicit trade with brutal efficiency. This resurgence underscores the volatility of Balkan geopolitics, where economic desperation fuels violent factions intent on dominance. From the mountains of Montenegro to European ports and South American jungles, a network of darkness spreads rapidly. The shadowy presence of these organized crime groups looms large over global security. As law enforcement agencies grapple with their increasing sophistication, every whisper, gunshot, and secret meeting hints at a broader, more terrifying reality: that the Balkan beast is awakening and hungry for power. As the lines between war and peace blur, the world stands vulnerable to betrayal, violence, and chaos on an unprecedented scale. This documentary aims to shine a light on the cycles of violence, greed, and betrayal that threaten to plunge us into a new dark age. Understanding the roots and reach of these criminal networks is crucial if we are to prevent a future shaped by their relentless, deadly ambitions. The story of the Balkan beast is not just about organized crime, but about the wider implications for global stability and peace. As we follow the trail of illicit shipments and clandestine meetings, one thing remains clear: this nightmare is only beginning. The international community must act decisively, or risk awakening a shadow longer and darker than ever before. In the end, the fate of Europe and beyond may depend on whether this ancient evil can be contained, or if it will consume us all in a final terrible uprising. Veins of gold, the money trail and hidden empires. Enter a world of glittering terror, Belgrade's skyscrapers gleam with laundered billions, while Podgorica's casinos pulse with the heartbeat of crime. Beneath the strobe lights of a Tirana nightclub, a Serbian oligarch, his smile a mask for murder, toasts with Ndrangheta envoys, their deal-wiring funds through Dubai into Balkan real estate. Women rise as silent queens, their handbags stuffed with crypto secrets, turning blood money into untouchable empires. The tension coils tighter. UNODC's March 2025 raid snags corrupt border guards, but a single misstep looms. A hacked wire could collapse their fortress, or a brilliant cyber move could double their hoard. If this shadowy web has your pulse racing, do me a favor. Smash that like button if you're gripped and subscribe to Behind the Veil Truths to unravel the next layer of this abyss. The Reckoning. Hunters in the Shadows. Dawn explodes over the Adriatic with a thunderous roar. Helicopters swarm Kotor's Kavak safehouse July 2025 as Europol storms in, bullets ricocheting off stone walls. 28. Ndrangheta-linked thugs, Balkan and Italian blood fused in chaos, spill into cuffs, their screams swallowed by the wind. Interpol's Icon cages 158 phantoms, from Bogota to Hamburg, but the air crackles with danger. For every boss caught, 10 vanish, their encrypted apps humming with new plots. UNODC's AI trackers close in, yet a synthetic drug lab hums in Kosovo's hills, its glow a harbinger of doom. The hunters' hearts pound. Will they strike the heart, or will a hidden blade end the chase? The stakes couldn't be higher. Eclipse of empires, the Balkan dawn of tomorrow, as autumn's chill grips 2025, the horizon pulses with dread. Balkan cartels twist migration into smuggling rivers, Chinese whispers fund meth labs in Kosovo's shadows, and AI heists drain Milan banks dry. In a Rio favela, a tense meet between Ndrangheta dons and Balkan killers teeters on a knife edge. A single betrayed glance could unleash a flood from Belgrade to Berlin. The suspense mounts. Is your city next on their map? If this creeping darkness sends shivers down your spine, hit subscribe and like Behind the Veil Truths. We've only peeled back the veil, and the next revelation looms. Suddenly, a gunshot echoes. Has the insider flipped? Or is this the signal for a war that redraws the globe? Dive into our archives for the Ndrangheta tale that began it all and stay tuned. The detonation is imminent.